Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is absolute garbage. And I know this because this person has told me that they have been searching for a year and have not found a job. They have been trying to get a software engineer job for months, and they have gone through easily 500 applications with 0 interviews. So this is a garbage resume. This does not work. And I want to let everybody know I do more than software engineer resumes, but right now the tech market is in the toilet, so 90% of the resumes that are sent to me are tech. But I do accounting, HR, recruiting, and everything else under the sun. So what do we need for a software engineer, especially a new grad, which this person is? Well, the first thing is a stack. You need to pick a stack. If you do not pick a stack, you have failed. Are there stack agnostic roles? Yes, I'm working on them. Are you going to find those roles? No, you're not. You're not going to find them. You need to make sure that your resume is tailored to a stack. And those 5 stacks are full stack, front end, back end Java, back end Python, back end C#.net. And technically you could also add like back end Ruby on Rails and back end COBOL, but you're not going to find those jobs. So, especially not as a fresher. So, they've already failed because they did not pick a stack. I have no idea what this is. So I'm going to pick a stack for them. The most common one is full stack. So this is what we are going to look for, is full stack software engineer. What do we need for a full stack software engineer? We need degree. We need TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Look at me. I want you to look at me. I need to see TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS in the first bullet point of your first job, project, or internship, or you are probably not going to move forward. But Lee, doesn't TypeScript imply? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Almost every single job of a full stack engineer is going to ask for those 4 things. So you need to have it. But won't the technical manager know? The hiring manager wants you to have it too. Because I do not give advice that is only good for recruiters. If I gave that advice that is only good for recruiters, I think that's bad advice. I give advice that's good for both recruiters and hiring managers. So TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, if you're going for full stack. Then we need RESTful API or REST API, SQL, Cloud, any of them, backend Python, backend C#.net, backend Java, any of the backends is fine. You don't need all of them, just one of them. React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, Git, and extra credit for large scale of how many users, AI tools, and cross-functional. So let's see why this resume is garbage, because again, they've gotten 500 applications and no interviews. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to review your resume, so 20 seconds is on the clock. Let's see what I can find and go. Okay, this is not relevant. This is kind of okay. This is not relevant. This is not relevant. I need them in qualifications format. Leading development of client onboarding using JavaScript. Okay. MongoDB supporting investors. I don't care about that. Design implemented code, reducing manual mapping. This is garbage. Doesn't count. And time. So that's all the time I had, and this resume does not work. This is why this resume does not work. Did you notice I did not find any of these besides JavaScript, MongoDB? But wait, Lee, you say. What? It's all in the technical skills section. Every single thing you wanted is in there. Well, as I said, recruiters are not keyword hunting. If we were keyword hunting, hey, this would work. Everything would be here. But sadly, we're not. We're qualification hunting. So this does not count. And what makes a qualification over a keyword? Well, a keyword is what the hiring team needs. It's what's in the qualification section of a job description. So these would be considered keywords. The problem is a qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, plus the non-technical business reasons you used it. So the why you used it that's not technical, plus where you used it. And skill sections do not show how, why, or where, and thus they do not count. They do tell me the what, but guess what? The what doesn't matter without the other 3. So that doesn't count. So I need them in the bullet points. Also, your formatting needs to look like this. This is how you do it. It's in the description below on my website. It's what you want. It's the best format for everybody with the exception of high level directors. You want a different format. and people that are job hoppy, you want a different format. But from accountants to software engineers to everything in between, you need to use this format. It is the best. And oh, but Lee, it looks ugly. Yeah, that's a feature. That's not a bug. It's easy to read. Because if you noticed, I only had 20 seconds to go through, and this is easy to read in 20 seconds. This is not. So, do I need your honors list in graduation? Yeah, actually, that's kind of okay. So, instead, I'd rather you put another bullet point here, right? And then put GPA 3.8 and Dean's honor list, graduated with distinction, and the scholarship. And you can put it right here, right? Then if they like it, they like it. And then after you've been employed for about 2 to 3 years, remove that from your resume because nobody's going to care. So, then we go down to the actual bullet points, and this is where the real problem is. Leading development of a client onboarding and data management platform using JavaScript, MongoDB, supporting investors is a giant hot dog. That's a hot dog. Design and implemented internal code that reduced manual adapting is hot dog. Developed intuitive and modular hot dog using, there it is, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, but you already mentioned that. Instructed 400 in engineering principles, hot dog. So what I mean by hot dog, right, is recruiters are looking for hamburgers and not hot dogs. I want you to imagine that you're hungry and you go to a restaurant and you just say, I want a cheeseburger. That's it. I just want a cheeseburger, plain cheeseburger. The waiter says, that's all you want? And you say, that's all I want. So they come back and they bring you a hot dog and they say, here is your cheeseburger. And you look at them and you're like, this is a hot dog. This is not a cheeseburger. And they say, no, this is what you wanted. A cheeseburger has meat and buns, and a hot dog has meat and buns. So when you said you wanted a cheeseburger, this hot dog is what you wanted. And it also has cheese, just like a cheeseburger. It has meat, buns, and cheese. So this is what you wanted. And you would look at them like they were absolutely insane, and you would walk away without paying because that is not what you wanted, and you do not want to get gaslit by your waiter. And that is the exact problem with this. Leading development of a client onboarding data management platform, hot dog. JavaScript, hamburger, right? JavaScript is a hamburger. MongoDB, hot dog. It's adjacent to what I want. It's related to what I want because it could be one of the sequels, but you didn't put SQL. And then down here, design and implement internal codes. Again, hot dog. JavaScript is good, but you already mentioned it. So the way it works is you only want to mention one keyword per the same. You want to mention the same keyword once per job, right? So leading the development of client onboarding using JavaScript, good, and then down here, bad, over here, bad, because you already mentioned it. Now, if you also said JavaScript, let's just say Agile was the same one here, that's good, because again, you want to mention it once here, but then if you mention it again down here, it's bad. So it's the same keyword needs to be only once per job. I did not mean to kick the desk. But yeah, the rest of these are just not it. Like, where is the HTML, the CSS, the TypeScript? Where is the RESTful or REST APIs? Where is the SQL, the cloud, the backend? Where is the React, the React.js, the Angular, the Node.js, the Vue.js, the DevOps, the CI/CD? I did find, so you do have that. The Agile and the Git. And the answer is it's not anywhere here. And if it's not anywhere here, it doesn't count. Because I need 75% of these to move you forward in qualification format, not keywords. They have to be qualification. And I don't see that anywhere here. I see SQL down there, which is fine, and that's it. So this entire resume is mostly filled with hot dogs. The reason you've spent 500 applications and practically no, and no interviews, not practically no, just no, is the fact that you do not have what we need. You're not showing this stuff. And if it's not this stuff, it doesn't count. Because remember, you can't just put it here and have it count. Because it looks like you've used the stuff I want. You've used AWS, you used JavaScript, HTML, CSS. You don't have TypeScript, which I would prefer. You have React, you have Node, you have Git, you have Docker, you have Python. And where is it? I don't know, because you didn't show me, because this doesn't count. Please, please, please stop putting these random skill sections in, because it's just hurting your chances. So remake this entire resume, because none of it works, okay? And then follow this format, make it look like this, and each bullet point needs a minimum of 3 of these. A minimum. and a maximum of 6. And then once you start doing that, you will start having more success. And for the record, when people follow my advice, they get 1 interview per 7 applications. That is the average. Now, considering they've been out of work for a year and they're an entry-level person, probably won't get 1 in 7 even with a perfect resume, but they can at least get 1 interview per 10 to 15 applications. That should be very doable because that's what I get people. And again, you can tell how good or bad your resume is by how many interviews it gets. If you're getting a minimum of 50 applications per interview, it's actually an okay resume. But 500 to 0 is obviously garbage. So that is why this resume fails, and that is why this resume is getting 0 interviews. And I just want to say thank you all for watching. If you ever needed more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both Twitch and YouTube. I stream this, and that is where I review resumes. So if you want your resume reviewed, join me then. And to all of my members who support me, thank you very much for the support. You can join in the link below. They get access to videos a little bit early. I just want to say thank you. And thank you all for watching, and let's go to the next resume. This is another full stack. So this person says, I haven't been actively applying. I've only applied to about 6 to 7 positions over the last 6 months. Wow, that is really not active. Yeah. And I've heard back from 3 of them, but those 3 being rejections. I just want to know if my resume is good enough to see results. Well, you want to apply for about 50 a week. Your goal should be about 50 a week. And normally when I'd review these, I'd start right away, but I saw something that caught my eye is you're not graduating until May of 2028. It's going to be real hard to get a role. Typically, they won't hire you unless you were within 3 months of... within 3 months of graduating. There may be some freelance roles, but it's entirely probable that even with a perfect resume, no one's going to move forward until you graduate. And that's just unfortunately the case. So I'm going to review this as if you were going to graduate, but I don't know if it matters unless you're trying to get an internship. But internships are very different than full-time roles. So this is full-time, right? This is what you want for full-time. This person is in my chat. They said it is interns. Okay, so this is not full stack. This is a software engineer intern. And software engineer interns do not need to pick a stack. What you need for a software engineer intern is, and again, I can ignore this because interns get that, is your degree, a basic knowledge of the tech stack, so language, library, cloud, SQL, AI, object-oriented programming, the ability to work with others, and you can take direction and criticism. And that is it. Almost every single internship is asking for those 4 things. Including non-tech ones. Obviously, they don't want the tech stack, but it's basically degree, whatever your industry is, a little bit of the skills, and the ability to work with others and take direction and criticism. So, is this good for internships? And the answer is we don't know because 7 applications over 6 months is not enough. You really, really want to apply to about 50 a week. Now, there may not be 50 internships a week, but you should at least try. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. Okay. I don't think this matters. This is formatted weird. Actively implementing. What do you mean implementing? What? To create an interactive application working platform. Okay. I like that part. Using to implement consumer data. What? And then worked in a team of 3 to develop the students for volunteer while Scrum method. Okay. This is... not the worst, but not the greatest. This is really held back by the formatting. You really want to use this formatting. Please use this formatting. And I don't know if this matters in Introduction to Artificial Intelligence with Python. Especially because you didn't even get... Oh, no, May. Wow, Lee. It's 2026, not 2025. I don't know if this is really needed. I don't think it is. And this should fit on 1 line. You can fit all of that in this 1 line. Then we go down to here, and you wrote these a little weird. So, first things first, everything is past tense, even if you are still working there. It just flows better. So, it should be implemented I don't even like implemented. I would rather you state created an interactive application using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, React, Next.js, to work as a communication platform for community clubs on college campuses. So again, you want to phrase it a little bit differently, as this part needs to be first, then the tech stack, then that. And then you already mentioned Node.js in the first one. You didn't mention SQL, and Supabase is fine, but you need one more keyword here. Because remember, it's minimum of 3, and you already said Node.js. Oh no, you didn't. You said Next.js. Never mind. Haha, you were correct. So keep that to implement as a backend. But the problem is, what is consumer data more efficiently? That is not a good reason. You need a better reason for this one. You had a good reason the first one. Then, again, this should be one line, not bolded. Worked in a team of 3. Okay, good. To develop a web app that enables Sacramento State students to volunteer for career opportunities. That's good, but again, I want a little bit... This should be 2 bullet points. It should say, created a web app in a team of 3 using X and Y. And then I want to know a little bit more about how you work together, and then the other one can be a little bit more of the tech stack. Now, my problem is I still don't see that you can take direction and criticism. I need to see that you can take direction and criticism, and I do not see that. Yeah, I don't see that at all. So it's not bad, right? I don't think this is disgusting. Delete this resume. There's a couple of flaws, but if you applied in mass using this resume, you might get a 1 in 75 to a 1 in 100 out of it. But I will need to take direction and criticism, and I need you to be a little bit more clear about working together and fix the formatting. But otherwise, there's some good stuff in here. Next resume. This is a resume where they said, say whatever you want and be harsh, but be nice. But also, if you need it, don't sugarcoat it and roast me to cinders. So I will try and do that, but I don't think I'm going to need to. This person said, I've used your methods and it's starting to work, so they are getting interviews, but they think it's not fully there. So they want me to go harsh on them to make sure they get it. But it is working to a degree, right? So that's good. It just means we're probably missing some stuff. So what do we need for a cybersecurity analyst is degree, industry, and if you have clearance, it's great. Like, the amount of clearance is crazy. So any of those: DoD, military, ISO, HIPAA, certifications, CompTIA, security, SEA, SEH, CISSP, OSCP, GIAC, Python, CM tools, threat detection, incident response, can communicate security risks clearly to non-technical stakeholders, and extra credit is MITRE attacks and cloud. There's probably a couple of other acronyms I've missed, but whatever, I cannot get them all. Also, to my knowledge, it is actually pretty tough to get an entry-level cybersecurity role. Somebody can correct me on that, but I believe the amount of entry-level roles are pretty tough. Usually you go from like another industry slightly into it. But let's see what this person has. They said they're getting a 1 in 75, which is not bad, but can be better. So 20 seconds on the clock for Link. Hiya! I like this. And Doug Dimmadome. And go. Okay, this is good. This should be one line. Automated threat detection using Python scripts and SIM integration. Problem faster than it's reducing incident response time. No numbers. Conducted penetration testing of multiple cloud applications. What cloud? Using Burp Suite. Again, maybe a hot dog. Metasploit to find weakness. And time. So, couple of things. One, I don't think you need 4 bullet points for this. Maybe you do, but I'm actually kind of missing some of this stuff. So I automated threat detection. Okay, that's fine. I think I'd rather you say used Python scripts and SEM integrations to automate threat detections to catch security problems faster through our IDS, which reduced, or to give team members more times to focus on other tasks. This part can probably be deleted. And then again, I need another one, right? Like, I don't see incident response here. I don't see I don't see security risk or technical stakeholders or MITR. So I'd like a little bit more. And then conducted penetration testing. I think I've seen that on one or two. On multiple cloud. What cloud? What cloud? You have to tell me the cloud. Don't just say cloud. Say on AWS, GCP, and Azure applications. Using Burp Suite and Metasploit to find security weaknesses. Again, what is a security posture? Why don't you just say leading to better overall security? I don't know if I need the posture, which speaking of, I need to sit upright. And then again, is there anything in this that is relevant? I don't think so. I think this one is entirely a hot dog. And again, you do not want these numbers. People in sales and management need those numbers. You do not. Delivered security findings and remediation recommendations. Why do you have to say remediation? Just say delivered security findings and recommendations to the leadership team via PowerPoint presentations and risk assessment reports. This is not it. Why does this matter? I don't know. You're gonna have to dig a little deeper into why you did this, because this started strong. Penetration risk assessment reports. So, like, why don't you just say, so our stakeholders could understand the security risks and not make a mistake or something, you know? Like, I need more. Excuse me. And then again, this, I don't think there's anything in it, and then this needs more. So again, you started off strong in some of these, but I need you to create the non-technical reasons, right? Like, there's the forest for the trees is, right now, you are in the forest, and I need you to zoom out and take a look at it from the sky, right? You need a bird's eye view of what you've done. And this does not give me a bird's eye view. This second line does not give me a bird's eye view. The first line does. The third one doesn't. Delivered security findings and recommendations to security team via PowerPoint presentation. Good. That means you can communicate. But the problem is, what was the point of it? Why did you communicate? Because again, 100% faster, whatever, means nothing. So you've gotten the right idea, but I see why this is a 1 in 75 is you need to dig deeper into the non-technical reasons. You need to zoom out from where you're at and look at this as if you were at the sky. So that's all I can do for this resume. This is a IT support specialist help desk. We don't fully know their ratio. They said it's over 1 in 75. So it's not great, but it may not be the worst thing ever. So let's find out. What we need is IT support specialist help desk, Mac OS, Linux, Android, Windows 7/11, education, customer service, troubleshooting, problem solving, networking, DNS, DHCP, TCP, IP, VPN, multitask, meet deadlines, industry, Azure, LAN, WAN, CRM, Jira, Office, Microsoft 365, Active Directory, and a bonus for CompTIA, Microsoft Certified Desktop Support, and PowerShell. So that is what we need. 20 seconds on the clock. That is chat. You do not need to see chat. So 20 seconds on the clock. And let's find out. I'm expecting to find some, but not all of what I need. And go. Okay, formatting is bad. Reinstalled and configured Windows on a physical performing system. Driver installation. OS patching. The hardware system is operational. Troubleshot system performance by removing bio bloatware and configure Defender. Installed and configure on to ensure hardware can access on day one. Diagnosed and okay. So they're not the worst. You are correct. The problem I have here is, A, I don't see you work with other people. Now, normally, I would not need to see that. The problem I have here is I need to see that you troubleshot and have done customer service, because a big part of help desk is dealing with somebody that can't turn on their monitor for the 8th time. They're going to call you and be like, why did you do this? I told you to fix my computer. And you'd be like, hi, Bob. I just want to double check. Is it plugged in again? I was like, of course it's plugged in. I've always plugged it in. Just double check. Make sure we have that. Oh, it wasn't plugged in. You should have told me that in the first place. Click. And yeah, Bob's a jerk, but unfortunately, it's going to be your job to deal with him. And you have to make sure you can handle that. And I need to see that you have some kind of customer service. I need to see that you can handle this stuff. And I actually don't see that in any of this. Now, at the very bottom, which I don't think people are going to scroll down, gathered user requirements providing customer service stakeholder. You can't just say just providing customer stakeholder. I need to know, right? Like, spoke with customers and kept them calm while fixing problems. Now, if you were working at another job, this is actually relevant that you could put in. And people get confused because, like, yes, this is the most relevant stuff, but if you worked, like I said, at McDonald's as a cashier, that counts as customer service. And I would have you put it under work experience. And all you would have is just this. So instead of all of this, right, because all of this is not needed, all you would have is just this one little line, and it would probably not, it would only be two, that would say, like, you know, operated our cash register, keeping customers calm and handling and dealing their orders, and making sure upset customers were taken care of. And that would be all it is, and it would show you the work there. And then you can go into your projects right down here. So, projects now. Not going to win any points for spelling. So then it would be projects. But you can put just a single line for work history. Then we go into the projects, and again, formatting doesn't work. I need you to make this formatting, right? This is the formatting that you need to use. So again, none of these lines, right? None of these lines. This should be italicized and not bolded. This should be italicized and not bolded. This italicized, not bolded. Same thing down here, down here, down here. And then I don't know if I need, like, all of this. I like some of this, but I think each of these can probably be 2 bullet points and you'd be fine. I don't know if you need to have 3 bullet points for each of these. Oh, here it is. Here's the one. Yeah, this actually is probably your better one. I would put this up first, which is set up and configured multiple desktop and laptop systems, including Windows OS installation hardware diagnostics, to ensure all devices were functional for end users, and then provided customer service by troubleshooting peripheral issues across printers, monitors, and input devices, installing and updated drivers for functionality. I love that. If anything, I think you should combine those two, and this should be your first one. Like, this, actually, hold on. No, this is probably your best sentence. Like, I would do this. I would put this up top. This is great. This is what they want, right? You troubleshot, you provided customer service. In fact, I would say computers and printers instead of this. So, like, computers and printers, and then maybe add 1 or 2 other things to it. But this is great. Like, this should be your first bullet point, because this shows exactly what I was really missing. And, like, yeah, it's great that you have all of this, but again, when Bob's calling you for the 7th time, they need you to be calm, because unfortunately Bob is their greatest salesman, and everybody bows to Bob despite hating Bob. If you're Bob watching this, I'm sorry, it's not you. It's not all of the Bobs, just this one Bob in particular. So that's all I can do for this resume. But yeah, shrink it a little bit, condense these bullet points, and move this one up to the top, and I think you should start getting more interviews. And fix your formatting. Next resume. This is a resume of a Java developer. So what do we need from a Java developer? We need Java. You need Java. Spring Boot, Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful API or REST APIs, microservices, CI/CD, object-oriented programming, OOP, Git, Linux, Unix, Agile, Scrum, Cloud, architecting your systems, Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, Kafka, and rare but nice to have is full stack, which is different than full stack, because if you note, a Java full stack is JavaScript, React, Angular, and Vue, not JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and TypeScript. And then I would like DevOps and RabbitMQ. Again, those are nice to have. So before I start this, I want to note a critical flaw is you said open to reload. Open to reload does not count. No, you can never ever put open to reload. You have to put, and you have to put it under here, moving to X by Y date can move earlier if needed. If you do not put that, you will get rejected. because open to reload anywhere does not count. That is a rejection. So this person said laid off 2 weeks ago. Ooh, sorry. Getting some traction with recruiters contacting me. Good. That means your LinkedIn profile is solid. Trying to work my local network. Failed a systems interview that I set up 2 months ago, which sucks. But like, you're not going to get all your interviews. That's okay. Like, you can't succeed on all of them. Was told on my prior job hunt that I was missing cloud and Kubernetes. Taking my most recent job was meant to help with that. They laid me off in 24 hours notice, so that's kind of painful. Unfortunately, that's what companies usually do, is they will lay you off instantly. There's no warning for it, which stinks. I don't like it. But also, I get why they do it, because sometimes people get angry that they get laid off, which is understandable. And then they will destroy the company from within. So usually if you're getting laid off, it's they'll pay you for the rest of the day and they say go home immediately, which stinks, which really stinks. It's happened to me before. You know, they said, hey, I got candidates I need to talk to, and they'll be like, we'll handle it later, just go. And I'm like, okay. So sometimes when you're ghosted by a recruiter, it's because that recruiter was laid off and was not able to do a transition to another recruiter properly. So make sure to fix the open to reload part, and let's see what you got in 20 seconds. So 20 seconds is on the clock, and go. This should be one line. Optimize infrastructure as code deployment of Java web services to Azure Kubernetes by deploying a framework, comprehensive testing, rid of faulty API structures, building Maven, multi-threads, reading PR. Way too technical. Ranked as top contributor in org by March PR volume. Okay, built a disaster relief with a full stack, Java, Spring Boot, but good, wrote deliberate learning. Okay, this is not the worst resume ever. Your formatting is a little off, but it's not the biggest thing. Again, it should look like this. I'm not exactly sure why your bullet points are extra big, but it's fine. The other thing is this needs to be 3 lines max. This is way too technical, way too deep. So what I would like you to do is simplify this a little bit, right? I'd rather you say created a... See, I don't know. What do you mean by deployment? Like, what did you do? I still don't know what you did, right? Like, designed a framework, or was it architecture, right? Like, architected a framework using Java, comma, Azure, comma, Kubernetes, comma, RESTful APIs, comma, and Maven to non-technical reason. And then I need you to have another bullet point here. You've been there for almost a year, so it's okay to have 3. And then we go down to here. 2 website in 2 weeks on a borrowed laptop. Why does that matter? You're trying to impress me. Stop trying to impress me. Any single time someone tries to impress you, you'll fail. Because you cannot impress somebody based on a resume. A resume is not made to impress people. You will fail. So the fact that you built a disaster relief website, good, in 2 weeks. So then why do you have the rest of this? Who cares? Who cares that it's 2 weeks? On a borrowed laptop? Why? To deliver a full stack solution. What do you mean full stack solution? Build a disaster relief website using Java. Oh my gosh, you really need commas. Comma, Spring Boot you have, comma, and SQL running on what cloud? What cloud? Wrote a minimal... So, like, again, you need to make these non-technical. What am I missing from there? Not a ton, actually. You have a lot of the stuff I'm looking for. But you wrote it in such a technically dense way that people are going to struggle to find it. And honestly, what I think you should do... Oh, you're the founder here? Okay, yeah, delete this. This doesn't matter. Right? This doesn't matter. Unless you're applying to a startup. If you are applying to a startup, keep it. But if you're not applying to a startup, just delete this. Because it actually looks terrible. The fact that you've only been there for a short amount of time and you're a founder. But the second one down here, is this going to delete all of it? Yeah, there we go. Down here is solid, right? Led a small team maintaining tell me your stack, right? Like, let a small team to create a software using Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Git, Maven, so that our commercial flights... Yeah, too technical. You need to rewrite these technical issues, because this is just way too deeply technical in every single one. I understand why you're getting hit up, because, like, you seem very good, but people are not going to be able to actually understand this, because it's way too technical. So that's all I can do for this one. That's all I can do for this episode. I just want to say thank you very much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and if you ever need more help, join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on YouTube right here, and twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And to all of my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot, so thank you very much. And to everybody else who's not a member, that's okay. If you like, comment, and share this video, that is also supporting me, and I appreciate that. But that is it for this video. I will see you all next time to help you get ahead of your job search. Later.